Today I'm going to be using my endless amounts of cash to completely rebuild Manchester United Football Club within 5 years. And before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe for all your Football Manager content, leave a like and comment down below which club you would like to see me rebuild next. So what this is going to be, I'm going to have a 5-year plan. I'm going to be taking over Manchester United as the owner, so I'm going to be choosing the managers, choosing the signings, rebuilding some infrastructure as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin a wheel that's going to let me know what my starting budget is, and that will be my budget for the first season. I'm going to set a list of tasks to do each season, and if all of them are completed, then I get to spin the wheel again the next season and have another budget, so we can keep building on. So hopefully we're going to be able to get Manchester United back to the top. So let's spin the wheel first to see what our first budget is going to be. So here's the wheel then. We've got 100 million, we've got 250 million, we've got a billion, but there is also a £0 and a £1 million. So hopefully we're going to get one of those big budgets. So let's spin the wheel and see what we're getting with for our first season. £200 million to invest into the squad in the first season. So I'm going to show you now what we've got to do this season to make sure we get that second budget. So to make sure that we can spin this wheel again next season, we need to at least finish in the top 4, we need to beat Man City this season, and we need to win a domestic trophy, that being the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, or the Premier League. I don't think we're going to win the league, but hopefully we can at least finish in the top 4 and potentially beat Man City in one of those fixtures. So let's get into the save and see how we're going to do. So into the save we are now, and the first thing we are going to do is what United should be doing at the end of the season, and that is sacking Erik ten Hag as manager. He's not good enough to take Manchester United to where they want to be, so we're literally just going to move him. He can go back to Ajax. Ajax could probably do with a manager. They've underperformed this season. So Erik ten Hag is going back to Ajax as their manager. And I'm going to be, so I've had a look at some of the managers that are going to be available in the summer, and I think the person that could temporarily take us at least to top 4 and maybe challenge for some trophies is going to be Thomas Tuchel. Now, he obviously was fairly successful at Chelsea. He won them a Champions League. And I think with him announcing that he's going to be leaving Bayern in the summer, I think he's probably the best that Man United could probably get right now. So he is going to be my hiring to try and take Manchester United a bit further in the first season. And hopefully he does well and we can have him for 5 years. So Thomas Tuchel is going to be the new manager of Manchester United. So here is Manchester United. As you can see, we do have a £328 million budget. That's because we have sold some players. So we have sold Casemiro to Al Nassr for £40 million. We've sold Christian Eriksen to Brighton for £15 million. We've sold Mason Greenwood to Getafe for £20 million. We've sold Aaron Wan-Bissaka to Crystal Palace for £40 million. We have terminated the contract of Anthony Martial. And we've sold Donny van de Beek back to Ajax for £10 million. So here's how the squad's looking now. We've got some decent players. We decided to keep Maguire, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Malacia, Dalot. We're keeping McTominay around as well. Bruno, Anthony. Hopefully we can make something of Anthony. I've decided to keep Sancho around. Hopefully under a new manager he can turn his career around. We've got Mount, Diallo, Garnacho, Rashford and Højlund. So into the signings. So Thomas Tuchel loves a back 5, so I think I'm going to prioritise a centre-back while also prioritising some better midfield options, because obviously we've got rid of Casemiro, and maybe just some more squad depth. So we've got £328 million to spend, so hopefully we can build a decent team. So I've had a look at what we needed to strengthen the side, and I think that Tuchel's going to play his back 5. So we've gone straight in for a centre-back, Antonio Silva for £50 million, young Portuguese centre-back from Benfica. I'm hoping that he's going to be able to strengthen the side. We know that Man United fans love a Portuguese player, so hopefully he is 18, so he'll grow eventually into a really good centre-back, and I know that he's really good on the game as well. We got Joshua Kimmich from Bayern for £100 million. He's going to be our marquee signing to really improve that midfield. Obviously, Man United fans know that midfield is probably the biggest problem in your team right now. So Joshua Kimmich will definitely strengthen that. We got Viktor Gyökeres from Sporting for £35 million. Not as expensive. Hopefully he's going to want to be a squad player, or they can kind of rotate in between him and Højlund to see which of the two they want to start more. But Gyökeres is a brilliant striker. He's had a really good season at Sporting in real life, so hopefully he can improve the squad and get us some goals this season. Another marquee signing, £70 million on Jeremy Frimpong. A back five is what Tuchel will probably play, so we needed a really attacking right wing back, and Jeremy Frimpong is probably the best at that right now, so I definitely wanted to spend the money on him. And the last signing we've made is £50 million on João Neves. Wonderkid Portuguese from Benfica, same as Antonio Silva. He's strengthening the midfield. I don't know if he'll go straight into the team, but he's definitely one for the future, especially in the next 5 years, to push into the starting 11 and be one of the players that can run that midfield. So those are the signings we've made for the first season, and hopefully Tuchel can get this side into the top four. So first 2 games in, and we have won both of them. Crystal Palace were the first team that we played at Old Trafford, and we beat them 1-0 with Viktor Gyökeres on the score sheet. Instant impact from the new signing. Game number 2, we played Wolves away, and both our strikers getting on the score sheet. Gyökeres again, and Højlund must have come off the bench, because I'm pretty sure Tuchel is playing a sole striker, and he is. So we completely got it wrong. Tuchel is not playing a back five for Man United. He's playing the 4-2-3-1 with Gyökeres up front. I'm very interested to know why Jeremy Frimpong is not playing over Dalot. He's using Mainu as well instead of João Neves. I expected that though. And Antonio Silva is not using either. But he is obviously young, and he will get into that team eventually over Martinez or Varane, and he is brilliant cover in case one of those two get injured. He's playing Sancho on the right instead of Antony or Garnacho. He's still playing Rashford. So I'm not going to doubt it. He's won his first 2 games. So hopefully he's going to push on and carry on the form. But Gyökeres is already looking a great signing. 2-2 for him. £35 million. Hopefully he's going to be the key to unlock Man United's success this season. So we're in November and we're in 6th. We've won 6, drawn 1 and lost 3. Our wins have come against Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Burnley, Wolves and Palace, so teams that we realistically should be beating. We drew at home to Brentford, and we have lost to Brighton, Tottenham and Forest, so some tough losses to take there. Has Thomas Tuchel won a Manager of the Month? Did he have a good month? So yeah, he won an award. He won the Manager of the Month in August. He won his first 3 games. So how's he done since? So it was a good start for Tuchel. He won his first 3 games, picked up a Manager of the Month award along the way, but then it was back-to-back defeats against Forest and Tottenham. But he won his first Champions League game, beat Newcastle, got through to the next round of the EFL Cup, and then beat Bournemouth again in the league. We beat Celtic, we beat Villa, but a tough loss to take away from home at Brighton. But we're winning all of our Champions League games, which is something that Ten Hag couldn't do. And we drew to Brentford in the last game. We've got Newcastle in the next round in the Cup, then Arsenal, then Sevilla in the Champions League, then City coming up. So it's a real tough run of games for Tuchel, yeah. If we have a look at how one of our signs is doing, Viktor Gyökeres, is he having a good season? He's got 3 goals in 4 games. He looks like he's in good form. Is Tuchel still playing that, the 4-2-3-1? He is. He's still playing it. Kimmich, Mainu. It's still more or less the same side. Mount is played recently on the left, and Rashford's gone up front. So Viktor Gyökeres just picked up an injury. That's why. So instead of playing Højlund up front, he's put Rashford up front. So it's definitely a weird one. Frimpong not even making the bench. So I'm concerned about that one because we spent a lot of money on Frimpong, and he's not even put him on the bench. He's persistent with playing Dalot at right back. But if it works for him, it works. But at the minute, we're 6th and not in that top 4 that we want to be. So hopefully we'll simulate to January and see a little bit upturn in form and hope that he's starting to make a push for that top 4. Just want to point out another thing I've done. I know one thing that the other side of Manchester have done successfully is build a network of clubs, the City Football Group, where they obviously share a lot of their money and share a lot of their finances and facilities. So I want Manchester United to do something similar. So I have signed an affiliate club with LAFC in America. Hopefully this will help both clubs. Obviously, Man United will have that direct link into America for that potential American talent coming through in the future. LAFC, as you can see, with 5-star youth recruitment, they got decent training facilities, and yeah, so Man United have signed an American club to be one of their, sub teams. So they're going to use the same kit, the same board. They're going to have similar financial structures. So hopefully we'll see LAFC start to move up the MLS with this help from Manchester United. So into the 1st of January we are. Obviously we were here last time where we had this rough ton of games coming up, but we lost to Arsenal and we lost to Man City at home. So that challenge of beating Man City this season isn't looking great off the bat, but we did get through against Newcastle in the EFL Cup and we are continuing to win our Champions League games. But look at this form that Thomas Tuchel has put the club on. Picking up points against Chelsea and Liverpool, beating Everton, beating Luton, beating West Ham, beating Arsenal in the quarterfinals. So we're in the semi-finals of the EFL Cup against West Ham. So hopefully we are going to win a domestic trophy this season. Sheffield United and Wolves we obviously beat as well. And that has us 5th in the Premier League. So the Premier League table currently looking like this. We're 1 point off the top 4. Our push for top 4 is looking good. We're only 3 points off Man City. I'm sure United fans would love to be 3 points off Man City this season. But let's have a look how the teams are doing. Victor Gyökeres, 8 goals. He's only 3 off the top goal scorer, Ollie Watkins. Bruno Fernandes, he's underperforming. He should have scored 7.68 goals. That's not great. Jadon Sancho is doing good. He's dribbling with the ball. That's obviously what we haven't seen in his United days. He's not really carrying the ball as much as he should. He's a bit conservative nowadays. But we're looking to unlock the old Jadon Sancho, the Borussia Dortmund Jadon Sancho. We are pushing on for the top 4. We're looking good in the Champions League. I think we've made it out of the group. Thomas Tuchel's obviously still in charge. I did see a few times while I was simulating through that he was under pressure and his job was under threat. I don't have any intentions of sacking him yet. He's won 20 out of 29 games in all comps, which is more than good enough, I think, at the minute. Especially as we're 5th. It's not the end of the world. We're only 1 point off top 4. He's winning games. That's all I really care about. This is the team he's loading up lately. Frimpong still not on the bench, and this is really getting concerning because this was one of the marquee signings, and he's not getting game time. He's played 1 game in the league, which is not good enough. And look, he had a good game, 7.6 average rating with an assist. He's not even playing in the Champions League, and he's not playing in the Cup either. So I'm quite annoyed about this. I wanted Frimpong to be, transforming this back line and giving us that attacking depth from the right-hand side. I know Dalot can do it okay, but Jeremy Frimpong's on another level to Diogo Dalot. So Jeremy Frimpong might be asking to leave this month. He might even be asking to leave in the summer as well. So that might be something that we have to look at come the end of the season. But we're going to now go through all the way to the end of the season and hopefully we crack that top 4. We beat City at the Etihad and we win that EFL Cup. Let's see. So we are now at the end of the season and I can already see we have finished 8th. It has completely come off the rails. We're pushing for top 4. We did continue a decent run of form. We beat West Ham, we beat Arsenal, so this was obviously what we saw. We drew the first leg to West Ham, but we got through to the final of the EFL Cup, so hopefully we can still have won a trophy. But then, look at all that red. We lost so many games towards the back end of the season. We lost in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We did beat Barcelona though. Oh no, we lost 4-0 in the first leg, never mind. So we went out of the first knockout rounds of the Champions League to Barcelona. We did not beat Manchester City this season. We lost the final to Man City 2-0, so we've won no trophies. We've finished 8th in the league. It has not been a good season. We finished 15 points off the top 4, which is a disaster first season for Thomas Tuchel, so we know exactly what's going to happen. We've only got 1 game left, but Thomas Tuchel is getting the sack, realistically, because this is not good enough of a season. We didn't get top 4, we finished well off top 4, and it was a promising start. He got manager of the month in the first month, and we were 5th in January, only a point off of top 4, and he's absolutely bottled it. So, Thomas Tuchel, you are leaving, mate. We're going to look at the other managers available in the summer and try and make an evaluation on which manager probably can take us a bit further. But what went wrong for Tuchel? He didn't play what he liked to play. He didn't play that back five. He didn't play Frimpong at all. So I'll be very shocked if Frimpong doesn't want to leave in the summer. But hopefully we'll bring in another manager. I'm going to have a look through which managers currently aren't at clubs in this database and hope that we can pick the best one, because first season is a complete failure. I don't get to spin the wheel to get any more money. I'll literally just get the money that Man United want to offer the current manager. So yeah, let's see where we're at in the second season. So I've been doing some scouting. I've had a look at what managers currently aren't at clubs, and I think I found my man, Julian Nagelsmann, a young manager, only 36. He's another manager that likes that back five, that we're trying to push United to play. Obviously, we strengthened that defence. We signed a good centre-back. We signed Frimpong. So Nagelsmann hopefully can do what Tuchel couldn't do. So this is the man that we're going to put at Manchester United and hire as the potential manager to take United further. Maybe we did need a younger manager to help build the project. So Julian Nagelsmann is now the manager at Man United going into year 2. So into pre-season of year 2, and Man United have given Nagelsmann a £20 million budget, and that is not enough really to sign anyone. So what we're going to do with that £20 million budget is expand Old Trafford. We're going to go into the club details, we're going to go into the facilities, and we're going to make Old Trafford an 80,000 seater stadium. And hopefully this can bring in more fans, make the atmosphere better, push the players on, while also bringing in some more revenue as well. So we're just going to make this an 80,000 capacity stadium. And yeah, we're going to also update it as well. Make sure that the condition's great, because a lot of people say that United hasn't had any work done on Old Trafford for a number of years now. So we're expanding the stadium to 80,000 and we're completely renovating it, getting it cleaned up and everything. So that's how we're spending our 20 million. It would probably cost a lot more than 20 million in real life, but 20 million is what we're spending to increase Old Trafford by about 6,000 seats and clean it up. So no players, no signings this summer. Hopefully Nagelsmann, he has a good enough team. We signed a lot of players last summer. So we're going to keep the same objective for Nagelsmann as Tuchel had. Top 4, domestic trophy, and beat Man City. That's what we need to do. Those are our 3 objectives we need to do to get that budget next season. And yeah, let's get into year 2. So into January we are now, and we're going to look at how United are doing. Hopefully we're pushing on. We're 6th. So we are worse off than last season. We were 5th last season. Nagelsmann has won 19 games. We've lost 8 though. It's not looking how I wanted it to look. If we have a look at the schedule, we've won a fair few games, but we have lost to some of the big teams. We lost away at City, but we beat Fulham, we beat Everton, lost to City, beat Bournemouth, beat Tottenham. We didn't beat Tottenham last season. We beat Villa, we beat Leicester. We lost to Forest and West Ham back to back, which is poor. We lost to Burnley, lost to Liverpool. It's a mixed run. We got a tough January coming up with City and Tottenham. Then it's okay after that. Arsenal, and then it's a good end as well, with Liverpool being the only real hurdle and maybe Chelsea. But that's a good last 3 games to have. So let's have a look at the table and just see how far away we actually are. With 5 points off of the top 4. Chelsea currently occupy 4th with 40 points. City running away with the league just a little bit, 2 points off. So we must have played a cup game, because there's no way that Nagelsmann is playing this as his starting team in the league. There's Samuel Murray, Amari Forson, Zambrano. So we're using the youngsters, and Jean Evers is in there as well. Frimpong's got an injury, which makes me think that he might have played. Yeah, so Jeremy Frimpong's finally playing. Obviously, Nagelsmann has adopted his back 5 that Tuchel should have done. But yeah, he's not playing Gyökeres though. I think that we've just played a cup game, because surely there's no way that he's playing this in the league. If we go to our schedule and check like the most recent league game. So the most recent game we played was Everton, where we lost. Did he play this Everton side in this game? Yeah, so he's actually like playing Murray at left wing back. I mean, there must be an injury to Shaw. Shaw. No, he's just not even on the bench. Martinez, Mainu, Fernandes. I'm honestly baffled. Maybe this is why we're currently in 6th. But I do want to strengthen the side in January, so we are going to make some sales. So the sales I've decided to make, I've decided to sell Marcus Rashford for £80 million to PSG, and I've also sold Harry Maguire to West Ham for £40 million, giving us a £120 million budget to spend in January. And I saw someone with 6 months left on his deal wanting to leave, and I threw all of the money at him. Kylian Mbappe is now at Manchester United. He's the big signing. He's the biggest signing we've made so far. Should I have spent 120 million on someone with 6 months left? No, but we had to do something to make sure he didn't go to Real Madrid. So Kylian Mbappe should push us up into the top four, and if he doesn't, Nagelsmann is definitely gone, because there is no way you're not getting top four with Mbappe in your team and Bruno behind. With the amount of chances Bruno creates, Mbappe should be getting on the end of them. We've also got Gyökeres and Højlund in case he wants to play Mbappe a bit deeper. So yeah, hopefully now this is the thing we needed to push on into the top four. We hopefully as well can win some cups. So yeah, let's get to the end of the season and see how Mbappe does in his first 6 months at Man United. Back into the end of the season we are now. We are now at the end of year 2. Did we make the top 4? We did. Julian Nagelsmann has taken Manchester United to 4th in the Premier League. We managed to crack the top 4. Thank God for that. We had a good end to the season. Look at that spell. Just won every single game in March. We only lost one game since February when we lost to Arsenal. We lost one game. It was a 2-0 away loss to Liverpool. Did we beat Man City this season? No. We lost both games to Man City this season. So again, we don't get that extra budget. But how has he been lining up this team? So that is much better. Frimpong playing off the right. Bruno and Mount behind Mbappe. That is what we like to see. How did Mbappe do in his first season? 11 goals in 16 games. And that's just in the league as well. So, good start to life in the Premier League for Kylian Mbappe. Is definitely what we needed to push on to the top 4. Let's have a look at how the rest of the Premier League finished. City won the league, Liverpool, Arsenal. So, we were still a good 23 points away from even competing for the league. But we finished 5 points clear in the top 4. We've got Champions League football next season. So, that is something to be happy about. So we're going to keep Nagelsmann on for next summer and going into season 3 because he has pushed us into the top 4. We didn't beat Man City, and as far as I'm aware, we didn't win a cup competition. So we don't get that extra budget. We don't get to spin the wheel again. If we just quickly look, no, we didn't win anything. Oh no, we won the Europa Conference League, but I did say we needed to win a domestic cup. So at least Nagelsmann's won something. We've won a European trophy. But at least Nagelsmann's won something. We've won a European trophy. We've won the Conference League. So he's brought a trophy to Man United. So I'm definitely happy to keep Nagelsmann on next season. He's clearly building a good team here. We've got Mbappe now. We've got Frimpong consistently playing. So yeah, I don't think we're going to look to sell anyone. We want to keep the squad the way it is. So we're not going to look to bring anyone in. But let's see Nagelsmann for a third year with Mbappe for a full 12 months, and hopefully when we go to next January, midway through year 3, we're probably going to be pushing a bit further. So into year 3 we go. So midway through season 3 we are, and as you can see, we are 4th. So we are currently doing better than we have done at this stage of the previous 2 years. Obviously we were 5th and 6th in the first season and second season. So now we're into 4th. We're still 8 points off the top, and Man City do have a game in hand, but catching Man City is going to be a struggle. Bruno Fernandes is the top goal scorer. So we're looking good. Julian Nagelsmann still doing well. If we look at his schedule, we're in a good. We've been doing well. We've lost our last 2 games, but it's a tough 2 games. So if we have a look at the schedule, we've lost our last 2 games. We haven't won in the last 3. Wins have been hard to come by in December by the looks of things, but it's a mixed run of form. We drew to Leicester, not a great result. We lost to Liverpool. Have we beaten Man City? We've beaten Man City. We beat Man City in September this season. So we've finally beaten Man City, and we did it at home. So that is one of the objectives ticked off. As for the domestic cups, though, I can't see any EFL Cup. So I'm probably sure we got knocked out of that. Yeah, we went out straight away to Liverpool. So no domestic cup unless we win the FA Cup this season. So I'm going to have a look at who's not getting minutes this season, because I think we're going to ship some players off this January. So I'm going to have a look at who's not playing and see some suitable clubs that they could probably go to, so we can bring some money in and potentially strengthen this side to help push on to the title towards the back end of the season. So after having a look at the squad, I've kind of came to the conclusion that Nagelsmann doesn't really play with wide players. So I've decided to offload Jadon Sancho to Tottenham and Antony to AC Milan. So we've got around about £60 million budget. We're only going to spend 45 of it though, and we've bought in Diomande from Sporting. So another Sporting player, but he is a centre-back, and hopefully he's going to strengthen that back line even more, because I was having a look through the schedule and it does look like we're shipping a few goals despite the back five. So I've bought in Diomande to hopefully strengthen that back line a little bit more. And yeah, let's get to the end of the season and hopefully we're going to really see us start pushing towards the title and hopefully maybe win the FA Cup and do well in the Champions League as well. So yeah, let's get to the end of the season. We finished 5th. We fell out of the top 4. We finished 20 points away from the title. We obviously wanted to finish 10 within the title, and it's just not happened. I think we're going to have to let Nagelsmann go now, because we've given him a good enough squad. Mbappe finished top goal scorer on 20 goals. We've given him Frimpong, Silva. We even strengthened the squad, getting Diomande in January, and he's just not doing it. So we're going to look for potentially a new manager. So I'm going to look through, but Julian Nagelsmann, it was a good run. He won us the Conference League, but we shouldn't be dropping out of the top 4 with the squad we've got realistically. So we're gonna terminate his contract, and I'm gonna look through the shortlist and who's currently without a club, and hopefully we're gonna get a good manager in that can really push us on, because we've got 2 years left of this rebuild, and at the minute it's not looking good. We've put so much money in investment, and we brought in a great couple of players to strengthen the team, and it's just not going the way we want it to. So we're going to get in a new manager for the 4th season, and hopefully we can finally start making a push. But before we do that, I am going to announce another affiliation, and that affiliation is Alicante in Spain. So we're making that network of clubs that Man City have. We are adopting that into Man United. We already got LAFC on the books, but we're now getting Alicante from Spain. So hopefully we're going to get some good Spanish talent in the future. And yeah, let's get into the 4th season. So after looking at who is without a club this summer, I've come to the conclusion that Man United need Xabi Alonso. We're still going for that back 5 because we've signed players for the back 5, and Xabi Alonso has achieved so much with Leverkusen this season with that back 5. He knows how to use Frimpong, which is the guy that we wanted to be one of our main signings, and Kimmich is still there, and Mbappe's there. Hopefully Xabi Alonso can be the one to take us forward. He's one of the better managers currently going in world football. They've given him 60 million to spend. So I'm going to have a look. I'm going to do some scouting and see where we need to strengthen and where we need to spend that 60 million pounds. So I had a look at what we needed, and the age of Luke Shaw is starting to concern me a little bit, and I don't think that Malacia is the guy to take his role at the club. So I've spent 65 million on Nuno Mendes from PSG. Another Portuguese player. We're trying to get the core of the squad all gelled in together. So we've got Silva, we've got Neves, we've got Fernandes, now Nuno Mendes, all Portuguese players. We're kind of turning into Wolves a little bit. But yeah, so hopefully now the core of this squad is going to gel and much better together. We've got Mbappe up top, we've got Fernandes and Mount behind him. We've got Menj and Frimpong on the wings, literally at wing back. But it's looking like a really good team now, and hopefully Xabi Alonso is going to really cook with this team, because he should realistically. It's a well-beaten team now. There's no real weaknesses left in this squad. If we're not pushing for the title by the end of season 4, I'm going to be really concerned, because we've bought in the players we needed to. We've sold some of the players we needed to. So let's get to January of year 4. We're going to set the objectives. We obviously beat Man City last season, so we're not going to put that in. So I want to win a domestic trophy, either the EFL Cup or the FA Cup. I want to get to at least the semi-finals of the Champions League, because although we did finish 5th, we should have got that coefficient, so we are in the Champions League. And I also want to make sure that we finish at least 6 points within the league leaders. So we need to at least finish second or third within 6 points, because this team is good enough to win the league. And with Xabi Alonso as well, he's a good enough manager to win the league. So that's what we should be doing. What the fuck? How the hell are we 11th? What is Xabi Alonso doing? How are we 11th? He's won 9 games out of 27. What is going on? Like, we've got a good team. I'm baffled. Man United just destined to fail all the time. Mbappe's doing well. Like, I just don't understand how on earth we got Mensch, Frimpong, Diamanda. Like, look at this team. This team should not be 11th. Right, so instantly I'm already thinking, let's get Alonso out. We're 11th in the Premier League, so Alonso is definitely gone. We're going to struggle to find a manager halfway through the season. We're going to have a quick look. Conte could come in. Mancini, Mourinho. I'm not bringing Nagelsmann back. I'm not bringing Southgate in. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I think we're probably going to go with Conte to try and save us. We're in 11th. This is definitely the worst season we've had so far. And I just don't understand how, because we've been doing well. We've been improving each year. And then just suddenly we're 11th. So we're going to bring in Antonio Conte in January. I think that's the move we're going to make. We don't need signings. Our team is good enough. I don't know why it's going wrong. But we're going to bring in Conte. Maybe the back 5 system isn't working. But we've signed the players for it. The team is good enough to do it. But this is not going well. We're halfway through season 4. We have literally a season and a half left. And we are nowhere near the title. This is already looking like a failure. But we're going to bring in Conte. He's going to be the manager of Man United. Xabi Alonso has been an absolute failure. So for any United fans thinking that he's going to take it to the next level, you're getting worse, mate. Literally, I don't understand. We've given him one of the best teams in the league and he's failed. So we've brought in Conte. Hopefully he can turn it around. But before we advance to the end of the season, I am going to sign another club to the Man United football group. And that is a bit closer to home. We are going to announce Stockport as the next club in the group. Stockport obviously not far from Manchester. So yeah, let's hope Stockport can climb up the Football League with the help of Man United and our new group of talented football clubs that we're bringing in. So yeah, Stockport is the new affiliation for Man United. So we finished 7th. We're at the end of season 4. We finished 7th. Conte started to turn it around. We were 11th in January. It was looking terrible. But we got into a European space. We're in the Europa League for next season. We're nowhere near where we want to be, though. We finished a total of about 27 points. Not even that, 37 points. We finished 37 points off the top, and we wanted to finish within 6. So it's been an absolute disaster of a season. Like, this team should not... He's gone for a change, so we're not playing the attack. Why is Bruno up front? Like, where's Mbappe? He's just... I'm confused. I mean, some of these players they must have bought in on their own, like Kraus and Dest and Abada. But Conte looks like he wants to play with wingers, so maybe that's an area that we're going to need to strengthen. But once again, we didn't complete the objective, so we don't get to spin the wheel for any extra money. We're just going to have to work with what Man United want to give out, which is 58 million. So I've got one target in mind for that 58 million, and that target is Michael Olise. £50 million we've spent on him. Very promising young winger from Palace. We've signed him. Hopefully, we've got what we need now to start pushing towards the title. At this rate, in the 5th season, we're literally just looking for top 4 and maybe a trophy. But it's really not looked good. We were 11th in January in the 4th season, and we've got 1 year left. 1 year left of this simulation. We're going to keep Conte in charge because he clearly did. He did have a good back end of the season. We'll have a look at the schedule to see just how well he did last season when he came in. So obviously we were in January here, so we had a good January. We didn't lose in the league, but then it was a tough February. Lost to City, lost to Brentford, and it was a very shaky end to the season. So we maybe could have pushed even higher if we would have had a better end to the season. But I'm going to keep Tuchel in. We lost in the Champions League to Arsenal, so it's the Europa League this season. We have to win that. So the 3 objectives for this season, even though we're not going beyond this season, we will win the Europa League. We have to win the Europa League. We will finish in the top 3, and maybe we'll just throw in Conte winning Manager of the Year. So 1 year left of this rebuild. The team is good enough to finish in the top 3. Conte needs to do something here. We've got Elise in now. We've got a good enough team. Let's get into January of the last year. This is better. We are on to 4th. We are only 5 points off the title. Arsenal currently, they are the title holders. They won it last year. We're above Man City by 5 points. This has not happened before. So we are looking on the up. Hopefully we are going to push for the title this season. Conte is doing well. Let's have a look at the team he's using. He's got Mbappe on the left, Mount on the right. Gyökeres is back in the side. Frimpong, Menge, Neves and Mainoo is a good midfield. We've got Silva and Martinez and whoever Zeze is. They've signed him from Nantes. I think it was this season. But I didn't make that signing. Elise they're not using. Elise's only really played 4 games. I hoped that they would have played him off the right, but they've gone for Mount instead. They seem to have moved on from Onana, but it's looking good at the end of the day. We're in 4th and we were in 11th last season, so it's looking a lot better than it was. You know, we're on a good run of form. We've won 4 games in a row. We got a point at West Ham. We got a point at Liverpool. We even beat Arsenal, who are the current champions. We drew to City. It's finally looking a little bit better for us. We're only 5 points off the title. We're doing alright in the Europa League as well. So, like we said, we want to win the Europa League. We want to get Conte Manager of the Year somehow. And we want to at least finish in the top 3. If we can push on for the title and potentially win the Premier League, it would be crazy. We should not be winning the Premier League, considering we were 11th in January last season. But this team should be winning the Premier League, the team they've got. And that was the objective we had for this. Every rebuild we're going to do, we're going to want to win the main league title. And United winning the Premier League is definitely what we want. And if we can still manage to achieve it, despite the fact that this has been an absolute disaster so far. So, we've got 6 months left of this rebuild. Hopefully, Conte can take us to the title and potentially win a Europa League along the way. And maybe even throw in an FA Cup if we're still in it. Oh yeah, we are. We got City in the 3rd round. Yes, great. So yeah, we're going to go to the end of the season, and that's going to be the end of the rebuild. So let's see where we finish. It all went to shit again. We finished 8th. We were 17 points away from the title. It was looking good. I did see as well while I was simulating that Conte resigned. He had enough. So it's just not been great. We've got no manager. I don't think we've won any titles. Let's have a look at our landmarks. No, nothing really. Like, it's not been great. How have we finished 8th? We had such a good start, and then we've just lost some important games. We couldn't even... Oh, we did get past Marseille. We lost to Everton in the Europa League semi-final. Both games. We lost both legs 2-1. Oh. Right, this has not been great. So after 5 years, we have gotten nowhere really. We invested. We got the stadium better. We got the training facilities better. The squad is looking much better than it is currently. But like, this squad should be performing, but I just don't understand why they're not. So we're going to take the rebuild of Man United as a failure. Yeah, it's definitely been a failure. We've not won anything apart from a Conference League. We haven't exactly progressed in the league. We should have been competing for top 4. We should have been competing for the title, and we finished 8th. It's just been a disaster. And maybe Man United isn't just a 5-year project and it's longer, but considering the signings we brought in and considering how good this 11 looks realistically, like, it should be performing much better than it is. But that's it for this rebuild. It's not gone well. Comment down below who you want to see me attempt to rebuild next. Obviously, Man United probably wasn't the best team to start with, as they are really in the bin, and you lot are just shit, and your club is destined to fail for the rest of its existence. So yeah, comment down below who you want me to see rebuild next, and also comment down below what other experiments I should do. Obviously, the last 2 videos have been long-term 25-year simulation videos. So if you want to see more of them, just comment what you want to see. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave a like and hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more content coming. So yeah, thanks for watching.